Hello, welcome to another edition of Inside Email Stack. Today we are going to talk about our cold outreach initiatives that have so far not worked super well.
Oh,
Matt,
I give it away.
yeah, I'm not going to bury the lead here.
You can
So
switch
I
off
guess the
now.
question is, and if you're watching this and you have got cold outreach to work for you, please contact us and tell us how you're doing it. But Matt's gonna kind of walk through what we've been doing and why we think it's the market has kind of changed in regards to how you do outbound sales.
Yeah, it's. I was unsure whether we should do this, because we're doing really cold email, and we're email marketers. It naturally rubs up against us as being the wrong thing to do, right? Because we're email marketers. We create beautifully looking email to people who want it at the time that they say they want it to sell products or whatever we might be selling. But in growing B2Bs, you hear a lot of stories that it works, right?
And working at, we've both worked at big ESPs. They all do cold outbound
Yeah.
emails to get deals or to win deals. They have teams of SDRs and BDRs and sales reps that are also, or at least they used to be when we were working in those companies.
Yeah.
And so we were trying to do something similar.
Yeah, exactly. And also it did work for me and us in our sales team at Kick Dynamic, which was 3 or 4 years ago and more, but it did work at the time. So what I thought would be cool would be just to go through what we've done, talk about what we did, why we don't think it's worked, and what we're going to do next. So if I share my screen, we can show it. Okay, can you see the instantly results?
Yes.
Okay, so so far we've sent 476 cold emails, and we have a 15% open rate, a 0% click rate, which I'm going to go into a bit more, and a 1.47% reply rate. Now, reply rate is the most important metric to look at. So we've got nearly 1.5% of the 476 replied, but as you'll see as I go in, they're not real replies. So I'll explain that. So let's take it right back to the kind of beginning of when we set this up. From a cold email point of view, with the changes that the inboxes have been making recently, the experts in this strongly advise you to use other domains other than your main domain. So our main domain obviously is emaillove.com. We don't want to use that because it's, if we're sending from kind of our Gmail and in a kind of mass email way, we can have deliverability issues. We need to warm it up. It also could damage our actual reputation for that domain, which obviously will cause major problems. So the experts say to create some domains that you can buy and warm up for specifically just for cold email. So we did that, and we created these three domains. So Cool Email Love, Meet Email Love, and myemaillove.org. And within those domains, also created some multiple email addresses. So you can see I've got matt.hayes at Cool Email Love, and then I've got Matt, I think it is, at Cool Email Love. So we've got multiple email accounts within those three domains. And instantly was very good at this, really quick to create these, really quick to buy the domains, create the email accounts, and also they did a warm-up as well. So you can see here we sent between kind of 60 and 80 warm-up emails for each of the email accounts that we have. And if I understand it correctly, because it's not that clear, The warm-up emails are really their network of email accounts sending email to each other and then engaging with that email, probably all set up automatically. But it's quite a nice way of actually warming up emails. It's very common, happens all the time. Now, those domains are not our main domain. Question is, do those domains look a little bit spammy? Do they look off from our brand? Yeah, all of those things are questions that go through my mind. The first time, if you're a Gmail user, the first time you receive an email from someone, it shows this email. It doesn't show, it won't show the from name, Matt Hayes. It will show the full email. Now, because we're emailing people for the first time, that's what they're going to see. So does coolemaillove.com look spammy, and all the others look spammy, right? I know you thought about Andrew as well, kind of thinking it through. So that's one kind of point to think about. But so we've done that, and then we then have set up 2 campaigns. So I've got 2 emails in the campaigns, and this is where it gets interesting and a bit different, because the advice out there is quite polarized. Some people say the best thing to do is create one email that is short, sharp, no open tracking, no links, that you send to your entire potential customer base or your TAM once or twice a month. So we started doing that in the first email. So here's the email that we sent. So straight to the point about the Figma plugin, nice and short, and then no kind of, hey, click here, or no, can I book time in your calendar, or hey, do you want a 5-minute demo? Just want me to send you a short demo, try it yourself, just reply yes, and I'll send it over.
That's why the click rate is 0%.
Exactly. And actually, I think somewhere in there you can say just, so you turn off open and link tracking. So you can see it's turned off here. So it doesn't even track it as well. Which is, the theory is that that's meant to increase the chances of your email arriving in the inbox, because there's no link in there, and that can be something that actual real spammers do. And this is what we're seeing out there as advice. Loads of people are talking about this as the right thing to do for a first email. The more traditional way, let's say, would be to really personalize this first email, right? And say, hey, we notice you work in this sector, and we've seen that this thing has changed in your sector, and your job title is this, and therefore these things suit your sector. That kind of level of personalization. And their theory is that is so overdone now that people see through it. So the idea is just to get straight to the point. This is what we do. Do you want to know more? Which I kind of buy into.
I agree. If I get an email and it's paragraphs and paragraphs, and it's like, I don't know who it's from, I'm not reading it.
Yeah. Now our plugin is specifically for Figma, right? So I'm going to come back to why that is something that we need to figure out. But it's very straightforward, this message. So we sent that to 289 people and had 4 replies, but all of those replies were out of offices. Actually, one of them was from you.
Testing. Yes, one of them was to test, and then the rest were out of office.
So we got nothing back from that. Absolutely nothing. It's 289. It's not a huge number. And we are dealing in smallish numbers right now, which we can come back to discuss. But then I set up another campaign that I sent to 187. That is, I changed it. Sorry, I actually did include. No, beg your pardon. I didn't change it. I changed it to be even more straight to the point, and followed a kind of pattern of a person who's an expert who does this, who does it for similar companies like ours. But what I did is I turned the open tracking on, because I was interested to see who was. That does mean, for me, that does mean that it's going into the inbox, right? In a lot of cases, that is arriving in the inbox. It's not completely disappearing. So there is some visibility there. Of course, there's always the caveat that with opens, that's not 100% reliable metric. There's going to be some false opens in there, of course. We've got 3 replies, but they're out of offices. So again, absolutely zero opportunities that we're getting from that. So they're the 2 emails that we've been sending, and I think they've both finished now. Yeah. So this is kind of a good opportunity to discuss it. But the only other thing, just to kind of round it all off, is who are we actually sending this email to? And within Instantly, you can find your opportunities to send the email to. And we are sending it. We have 90,000 results there. I think there's actually more than that, but that's what it's showing now. So we're not really contacting everybody, not even kind of close to everybody, sorry. But as an initial kind of test of cold email, it's nothing. Like if we had 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people reply, I might be kind of, okay, this could work. But following the best practices, we've got nothing. And just one final thing before I'll stop. The TAM that we just saw there of the people that we were targeting, we don't know that they use Figma, right? We can't find that out. It's not in kind of the tech stack that's provided that you can normally get. So we are kind of making an assumption, quite heavy assumption, that with those job titles that they're doing email, which is that's a big assumption, but then that's a normal assumption, but then a big assumption that they're actually using Figma.
Got it. Some of them are definitely using Figma. Are we just doing 1 email?
Yes.
Because don't the professional cold email people recommend like you do like five follow-ups or something along those lines? And
well, the one that I've been paying attention to, because they're working specifically with a few brands in our sector and brands that are doing well, say no. They say just send 1. Well, they say send 1 blanket email to the TAM twice a month. So yes, I suppose that is a follow-up, but it's not.
Okay, so send it to everyone twice per month.
Yeah. So it's not, you're sending the same content basically, or maybe you want to tweak the content a little bit, but you're not kind of doing 5 emails in a row that is kind of following up. And their theory is that that's just, it's being used so much that it's just not, people are just.
I agree. I get like LinkedIn messages that, I get like 5 of them, and it's like, I'm not responding to any of them.
Yeah. And there's so many tech products out there now. There's obviously tools like Instantly that allow you to do this really, really quickly and easily. So everyone's doing it. So it means that if you are a director of CRM or whatever you might be, you're getting these emails every single day. If you get 4 or 5 of them from the same brand in a period of time, it's just too much. You can't cut through the noise.
Okay, yeah. So like when you were doing this for Kick Dynamic, AI wasn't really a thing, and it was just sales teams and salespeople manually sending these types of messages, right? And now there are tools like Instantly and there's many others like it, and like Clay for like getting all the data, and Apollo. And now it's saturated.
Exactly. Because you can get the data in so much more quickly, and so much more data, you're able to just kind of do more cold email. In the Kick Dynamic times, we were using HubSpot to manage a sequence of emails to our top targets that we thought would be best, would get the best use of our product. And we did it based on the ICP size, the ICP fit for what we were offering. but also where we had case studies with existing customers. And that worked well, and the email really was personalized, and it was, the first email was manual. So I or our sales team would create an email that was really personalized for the first one. And then if we did a follow-up, that was actually automated. And it was actually, in most cases, a non-personalized follow-up. It was more like, hey, what did you think about that previous thing? I'm sending it to you here again. Or here's a link to a bit of documents that you can read about what works and what doesn't work.
Got it. So I think for us, do we keep doing this? And oops, let's just oh, are you sharing?
It's me again, yeah.
Let me, yeah.
There we go.
I think we could either stop this strategy altogether, or do we double down? Do we just spam the entire can of people? Like those 90,000 people twice per month. I feel like you need volume to make this, to get any replies. Like 400 people, you're not going to get a reply. Maybe 5,000 people, you might get one reply. Something like this, right? Like you have to send to thousands of people to get a single reply.
Yeah. I honestly don't know. I think my natural reaction is to stop doing this and create a really personalized, manually create a really personalized email to the top 20, 30 brands that we think would be great for the plugin. And we can send them a Figma file that might have a mock-up of what their email might look like, how it might work in the plugin, something really kind of personalized like that. It comes from the email of domain. It comes from us. It might be better. That's my theory. That's my kind of gut instinct. But that's quite a lot of work. And you're fighting against going, oh yeah, that's good. I'm not afraid of doing the work, obviously, but actually, if I could just get those 90,000 people that were just in that town and just add them all and just go send, and it does it all while you're kind of out for a walk. It's very appealing to be able to do that, right? And I think that may be where it's going wrong in this case for us. I think you're right in terms of volume, but do we have a product that can get people excited about that? In that level of volume, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think also I think it looks spammy for a start. Like the domains, I wouldn't. I wonder if they're even reaching the inbox, because I actually have a lot of. If I look at my spam folder, it's filled with emails that look like that.
Yeah.
So I think Gmail might actually just be putting a lot of those directly into spam. And then even if it makes the inbox, it doesn't look legit. It looks a bit spammy. And then, yeah, I don't feel good about sending a blast to 90,000 people every month. I'd rather find the right people, do a Loom video, create a template for them, and try to reach them that way.
I don't feel good about it either. My feeling is it's not the way to do it. And when
the people say it works. There's people all over social media, and there's like YouTube videos of like, hey, I'm the cold email expert, and I send hundreds of thousands of, like, I send millions of cold emails every month, and I generate huge pipeline for my customers. There's agencies that do this. We could also hire an agency to do it for us, right?
Yeah, there are, but they have the same things that we're doing. Like they do the same things. They have the same challenges. Is it just, as you said, is it just a numbers game then, or is it, what are they doing that's different? Is it the
I think it's a
data?
numbers game. I think they send to way more people.
Yeah,
Most
maybe.
days.
So it's an understanding of it. Yeah. I mean, the other thing with the companies that we're seeing, or I'm seeing that it works for, they have other things as well, right? So they have a quite big founder brand, bigger than we've got right now, but ours is growing. They have existing customers, probably a few more than us. There's a bit more behind it, a bit more substance behind it, maybe, so people might know who they are. But even then, it's the whole point is it's cold, right? So it's meant to be cold, right? But it's still working. Yeah. Maybe it's a bit too early for us to judge. Maybe we do need to get it up to maybe 1,000 or something and see what we do. But even with that 400 or whatever it is, I would have still expect at least one person to have replied with something.
Right. So I mean, it's a good indication that it's not working for us. I mean, another option is LinkedIn outreach. I've also seen agencies that specialize in LinkedIn outreach, and they kind of create a plan for you where they help you do the outreach, but also follow up and retarget those people with LinkedIn ads, which I think is quite an interesting strategy. You need some money behind it. But I think that could be more effective than just cold email.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that could work. And I think we need to keep experimenting to find what works for us. And that's one thing that I keep coming back to is, yes, there's a lot of information out there now. We're providing information, trying to help people. But it will change from one company to another, and you've got to make it tailor what works for you. So I do want to go through a process of taking top 10 targets that we think would be the really good on the plugin. They would get a lot of benefit out of it, and explain that to them and send them a cold because it will be email, but coming from us, just saying, hey, look, I'm sharing this with you because I think you get so much out of it. Send them a message on LinkedIn, and then do a couple of email follow-ups, send them the videos that you do. I think we used to do that for at least 10 just to see if we get anything from that before we decide what we want to do. The other thing I think we could probably try and do maybe a bit better job of is try and manage some signals. So, I mean, it'd be amazing to know who's visiting the site. We've tried a few tools and it hasn't worked. So we need to try some other ones, or those that are visiting our LinkedIn. So the email off LinkedIn page, and do a kind of, so we're tracking some signals and able to email them at the time that they're doing that, or even get in touch with them.
So we did try the seeing who's on the website. We tried a couple of tools, right? And I don't trust that data. Like I know they say like, we can tell you exactly who's on the website and we'll send you their LinkedIn into Slack, but like the data looked terrible. Like it did not look like real data.
No, I know. And that's the problem, is like, is it actually possible? Is there any product out there that can do it? But it's more the concept of, rather than just grabbing someone completely cold, trying to grab them when there is a level of signal or interest that they're showing for the product, and not letting them drift off somewhere else or decide something else. We can grab them when they're interested. It's why we've added a ebook download to the Figma plugin page. So if they're looking and they want to know more, they can sign up on there. It's that kind of concept. It's giving them something when they're showing interest to get in touch with us, or we get in touch with them.
Which so far also no one, like the ebook, no one has downloaded it.
No, they haven't.
Which it's just like, I don't understand. I mean, it's only been up a day, so it's not like it's been up long. But like when I launch these things, you kind of think you'll get a couple of people downloading it quickly. It's just like it's a struggle to figure out what actually works.
And I think that's where we are right now. We're in that kind of, we're experimenting with different things. We're in that struggle a little bit to try and find what works for us, particularly. So I think we've just got to keep experimenting, which is why we should probably do both, actually, just to kind of sum up and kind of think about what we could do next with this cold email stuff. I think we should probably double the amount that we've just cold emailed, just so we've got a real significant number, and also do cold outreach to the top 10, personalized cold outreach. I think we should do both, because the easy bit is the cold stuff, right? Because we can just grab some more data, add it to that sequence, and off it goes. It does it while we sleep, so that's easy. But I think that's what we should do. I think we should do a combination of both. So you're experimenting to see what works.
I have been doing LinkedIn outreach, and I also get almost 0% of people replying to me, which I know there's like a lot. I mean, I get like 5 messages a day on LinkedIn, so maybe that's also part of the problem. But
I think it's the same problem. It's there are products like Instantly for LinkedIn that do exactly the same thing, right? They'll just on autopilot message or connect with people on LinkedIn, then message them, then follow up, all automatically, so you can just sit there. So yeah, it's definitely part of the problem.
Right. I guess I'm just not sure what we can do. I mean, I guess the marketing is the only thing that kind of drives sales and leads at the moment.
Well, the cold outreach is one channel, right, that we're experimenting with. We might fast forward a couple of months or 6 months. We might say, well, it wasn't the channel at all for us, and we don't do any. We know that the largest competitor of ours absolutely doesn't do any outreach. They've generated their customers via word of mouth. In all intents and purposes, right? It's people going, oh, that's great, and recommending it on, which is where you want to be, because that's really cost effective, obviously. So we may get to that stage, right, where we kind of say, well, we tried cold stuff and it's not working, so we'll stop it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, let's we'll follow up again on this topic. I think in maybe a few months we can let you know if we're still doing this, and if we'll try it a couple more times with a larger volume, and then we'll see if we can get it to work, and if not, we'll move on to other channels. We just launched an affiliate program, so we'll see if we can get some sales from that. I know affiliates can or do work for some companies, but I think it's also challenging to get that going. And that's probably another topic for another day.
Cool.
All right, we'll wrap that up. Thank you, and we'll talk to you later, Matt.
See you later. Bye.